Hey, I'm Runa. I'm a digital artist and VTuber, and I was wondering, have you ever looked at your favorite artist and thought, if only I would be able to unlock the secret ninjutsu of their super secret drawing technique? Well then, you've come to the right place. Well, spoilers, there's no secret technique, well, kind of. You see, unlike an anime protagonist, I do not possess a super secret drawing technique. What I do have for you in this video is 5 useful tips in order for you to understand your favorite artist better. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, for the first step, use references from the artist that you want to study. This might seem obvious, but some people apparently don't know that you can actually use references from the artist that you want to imitate the style of. It is not cheating to use references from said artist. Some people view any sort of usage of references as cheating. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. There is a lot of information and knowledge to be gained by simply studying another person's drawings. Of course, I would not advocate for you to trace said drawings. It might be a helpful tool for you, but it will make you reliant on the process of tracing, and I don't think that is going to be helpful for you in the long run. At the end of the day, you do you. Personally, I always prefer just having a reference next to what I'm drawing, as you can see on screen right here, and try to understand the steps that the original artist went through in order to get the result that they got, as opposed to underlaying it under my artwork and trying to copy it one by one. Referencing it in the way that I do will make you learn more, as opposed to just, well, I wouldn't say mindlessly tracing it, but I do think a certain amount of agency that you have is removed if you trace. Speaking of agency, this moves us right into part 2, study drawings. I'm not kidding, because a big chunk of agency that you have while using references is the fact that you can study the person's drawings and pick out the details that make the style theirs. For instance, the eyes in this case are drawn in a really interesting way, and a lot of the line work has this kind of this sharpness to it, which you see a lot of in JK's drawings. And then you also want to notice more finer details, such as under the eyes you can see that the eyelids are kind of done with a soft shading brush to make a transition from the skin to the eyelashes. There's many more details like this, and your job is basically to look through the drawings, identify these, and then apply them to your own drawings. This way you can accurately recreate the style of said artist. And now that you're practicing the style, this moves us right into step 3, which is to not just do studies, but to finish drawings. This may seem very obvious, extremely obvious even, but this is something that you might struggle with if you start art pieces, then do a sketch and you abandon them halfway, and you want to do another idea, you start another sketch, you feel like it isn't working out, you get frustrated, you stop again, and you keep doing this over and over, and you don't want to do this. You want to see this through to the end. You want to actually go through the whole process of drawing, coloring, shading, highlighting, all of that. You want to get experience with all of it, not just get stuck in this sort of preliminary phase. There is also another side to this. Basically, you don't want to be stuck in tutorial hell, where you essentially keep drawing circles, pyramids, squares, simple shapes over and over again I think this will kind of like burn you out and won't be very fun in the end. It's good to understand the fundamentals. I would advise you to practice simple shapes, but you don't want to do like 1,000 squares or like 100 circles or something like that. This will also go a long way in keeping up your motivation for drawing, in my opinion. If you want to draw anime girls and instead you feel yourself forced to draw boxes all day, every day, that's just not going to be fun for you, and you're going to quit. And we don't want that. So, draw what you want to draw as well. Don't be afraid of failure. As for tip number 4, I would recommend you would try to bring in at least one unique element in every drawing that you make. Now, what do I mean by this? When I say one unique element, what I'm referring to is when you're using references from an artist or from real life, is that while using references, I would advise you to try to incorporate at least one unique detail, like a raised arm or a different sort of facial expression, or basically any sort of like original detail, and try to draw it in the exact same way as you think the artist that you're trying to imitate would draw it, and see how it turns out. And in my opinion, you can also really learn from this, compare it with perhaps other references from said artist afterwards, and basically go through this cycle of studying and learning how to draw new things, basically. And now we come on to my final tip for you in this video, which is, while doing all of this, what I just told you, I would want you to remember to have fun. It might sound, again, it might sound like really straightforward and really obvious, but I do think that while learning, while doing any sort of hobby, or even if you're trying to make this your profession, I would advise you to find the fun in what you're doing. Find the joy in learning and doing your drawings. Because at the end of the day, if you're not having fun, why even bother? Remember to find joy in the act of drawing. If you can do that, then the possibilities are endless. And with that, you've come to the end of the video. It got kind of like philosophical and heavy sometimes, but I hope these tips were useful for you. If they were, smash that like button and subscribe. I'm making more of these kind of like informational videos. I'm also considering making reviews of games and other interesting stuff. And hopefully I'll see you next time.